Hello, it's Sean, and welcome to Hero of the Table. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm actually issuing a challenge for a terrain build to Mark from Dice Tales YouTube channel. I will link to his YouTube channel in the description below. He's got a lot of cool content on his channel, does a lot of playthroughs of different games, so check him out and subscribe to his channel. We're both going to be building a piece of terrain here, and we're going to need your help in deciding which one of us has won the challenge. So after you watch my video, go over and check out his build video, and again, I'll link that below. And you can vote in both of our channels to let us know which one you think should win. I'll show you a little clip here of what I sent Mark for the challenge, and then his reply back, and then I will get into this build. I missed a couple of details as I was filming this, so I don't cover quite everything that I do, but you get the idea. Most of it's pretty self-explanatory. Hey Mark, this is Sean over at Hero of the Table. I'm challenging you to a terrain build-off. Each of us will need to build a piece of terrain, paint it up, post a video about it to our channel, and we'll leave it up to our viewers to vote on who wins. The rules are pretty straightforward. It's got to build a piece of terrain that fits in with a starport. It's got to be scaled for 15mm gaming, and your minimum size is 3 inches by 3 inches. And the prize is just knowing that you won. I think this will be a fun project, and I hope you do too. Good luck!
Hello there, my name's Mark and these are my Dice Tales, and today I've accepted a challenge from Sean from Heroes of the Table YouTube channel. He wants some terrain builders to get together in August and build a sci-fi piece of terrain for a 15mm war game of any kind. So I'm currently playing Hardwired and 5 Parsec Salvage Crew. So I've got a sort of Tatooine table on the go. I've assembled some sort of bit boxes from the last month when I knew this challenge might be coming about. So let's see if I've got enough scrap to build something for my starport. Thank you, Sean, for this challenge. I'm sure it's going to be interesting. See you on the other side.
Well, what I'm doing for this challenge is I'm going to build a fuel dump. I feel like every starport needs to have a way to refuel those ships that are coming in, so I thought I would just make a fuel dump with some different things. I've got a couple different things here. I've got PVC pipe coupler and just a cut PVC pipe. I cut some circles from styrofoam that I'm going to use as lids for them. That'll be the top of the fuel storage tanks to give them a cover. This is an electrical gang box. I cut off the ends here and I painted it white. This has been around for a while. I had it for a different project, but I'm going to use it for this. Kind of probably make it like into a pumping station with some pipes and stuff. A couple of these things. These are storage containers that I got at the dollar store. They were came with a tank for $1. You got one of these and a tank, so they're pretty cheap. But I've got 2 of those that I'm going to have here as well. I'm going to run some pipes around. My base is just a piece of, I think it's 1/8 inch plywood. I'm going to use that, paint it black, make it look like it's concrete, and I think it'll look pretty good. So this is supposed to be based for a 15mm game. So here's my Gatungi for scale. This model is from Micropanzer Games. I painted it up as a test model for how I wanted to paint up some others. Haven't done the base on it yet, but anyway, you can see he's a pretty small guy compared to these big storage tanks, but I think that makes sense. It probably takes a lot of fuel to fill up those big guys, so I like the idea of having some larger fuel tanks here for this project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these in different places, try to figure out how I want it. This gang box is a little door. I made these a while ago. Just cut some card, and this is a plaster cast of that. I've got a number of those laying around. So it's already been attached to this gang box, give them access to the pumping station. I'm going to mix up some Mod Podge and some black paint to paint the base to give it a nice solid black color, and then I'll use some grays to make it look like concrete. Alright, I got my board painted black with a little Mod Podge. Now I'm going to use a piece of foam. I'm going to stipple it with some grays. So first up, I've got a pavement color. It's kind of a darker gray. I'm going to use the piece of foam to stipple it on here and give it some color and texture. Alright, I got this painted with the pavement color. Now I've got a pewter gray that I'm going to use and stipple that on top to give it a little bit more variation of color. Alright, to attach this, I'm going to use caulk. I've got my caulking gun. Gonna spread a bead around and then just seal it. I want to hide the seam between the PVC and the foam. So what I've done is I've cut some piece of construction paper and I've glued it down with Mod Podge. Just put a little bit of Mod Podge on there and push the construction paper on until it dries. I've done it in short sections. I'm going to put some rivets on here so it looks like they're panels of steel or something that have been attached there to the top. So it's pretty straightforward. Just figure out where it's going to go, make a mark, and then I just put the Mod Podge on the foam on the top, and then I'll put it on the corners on the PVC to hold it in place. Alright, next up I want to add rivets to these panels to make it look like they're bolted on. So what I've got here, these are jewels that go on fingernails. So I got them off of Amazon, so there's a variety of sizes here. I think this whole thing was like $8 and there's tons of these rivets in here. So I've pulled out some of the small ones. I don't know if you can even see them on here, but I'm going to use those. I'm going to do a little dab of super glue onto the cardstock with a needle, and then I'm going to use these little rivets and place them on to simulate the bolt. Alright, I've got a couple more pipes that I've added here. Glued these together and put some of those fingernail gems on it as rivets. Put them around the bottom and as where each pipe is connected, and then again at the top. I'm going to put one big one, one little one on each of these. Got some extras because I've got another one of these. And then I'll probably do some of the small ones into the smaller box that I've got. So I'm going to paint all these black, and then I'm going to probably just spray a light coat of gray on them as well. I've got typhus corrosion. I'm going to put a little bit at the creases around some of the bolts and stuff where the pipes are connected, and just try to make it look like it's got some rust spots and some parts that are leaking. Prime this just a green, attach some screen door mesh here, and put a frame around it with just cardstock glued down. Painted it gray, give a little bit of variation to this. I've got some bits from some Gundam kits. I'm going to use those just to add a little bit more variation to this. So I'm going to glue these pieces down, and then I've got a vent that I'm going to put on the top here. I painted the underside gray because I wanted to paint it before I glue this down. I'm going to glue that there just as a little fan on the top. Like the look of that. And then eventually a couple of these pipes they're gonna get attached to the sides. Probably one on each, or I might do two on one side. I'm not sure about that yet, but I think it'll look pretty good as the kind of the pump house for the fuel depot. Alright, I'm going to wash this with a homemade black wash that I've got. I'm just going to go over all the green bits just to give it a little bit of depth and texture. I'm going to paint some of these small pipes on this tank with white just to make them stand out a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to start gluing some of this stuff down. I've already glued this big one down. Next I'm going to glue this one down. This isn't attached yet. I'm just using thick CA glue to glue these down. I don't know if that's the best thing, but it's what I'm going to use. So this one seems to be pretty solidly in place, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I'm just going to run a bead around the base of this, stick it down, and then for the pipes, I'm going to do the same thing. Run a bead around the top and the bottom, get it in place, and stick it down. Alright, next up I'm going to apply some washes to dirty up some stuff. So where I added that typhus corrosion, I've mixed up a wash that's a little bit of orange paint and some dark tone and some strong tone. I'm going to go over that and then dab it off with a Kleenex just to kind of, I want it to be rusty, but I don't want it to be super orange. So, and then I'm also going to use some Agrex Earthshade, some Seraphim Sepia, some Nuln Oil, dark tone, strong tone, soft tone, just a bunch of different colors. Add some rust and just some weathering to the model overall. So I feel like the back of this is a little boring, not much going on. So I've decided I want to put a little sign on each of these, just placard, danger sign, whatever. So I've taped out a little rectangle on each, and I'm going to stipple on some white paint and then add just some lettering. I'll probably make it just squiggly lines so you can't actually read it, but that'll give at least something going on in the back of the model here. All right, next up I'm going to add some flock and some static grass here. I've got little clumps of static grass that I put together. I'm going to use those as just little highlights in a couple places. Got some brown kind of dead grass kind of flock, and I've got some green flock that I'm going to use, and these I'm going to put around the base just to kind of hide the transition between the model and the base and cover up a couple of spots of glue and different stuff, and I think these will just give a nice little added detail to the model. Well, I'm going to call this build done. I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I think this will be a nice looking model to use on the table. This fuel dump will fit in well with a starport board, and in fairness, I'll be able to use it for lots of other stuff as well. The only thing on this that actually has a reference to scale is this door on the pump house. So I should actually be able to use this for other scales as well. This could work with 28mm, Necromunda, 40K, any kind of sci-fi game. And you know, that door, it's no big deal. Either I can block it with some other piece of terrain or just not really care. Maybe it'd just be an access hatch that's smaller than a normal entry. Either way, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Probably could have done some more, added some more details and stuff, but I like the look of it, so I'm going to call it done. And really, I don't have a whole lot of time left on the challenge to build this. So I want to thank Mark for taking up the challenge with me. You be sure to go check out his video, and I'll link that in the description below. Check out his video, what he built, and you can vote on my page and his to decide which one of us won the challenge. I hope you liked this video and found it interesting. Please give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this and the other projects that I work on, you can subscribe to the channel. If you want to see the games I'm playing and the projects I'm working on that may not make it to video, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and there's links to all those in the description. If you have any questions or comments, you can post those in the comments below. And remember, you don't need to be an expert to paint your models. Even a basic paint job will make for a better game. Thanks for watching.